Hello and welcome back to Tarot Tats and Tea. Excuse my Reiki bed in the background. Been doing a bit of Reiki recently to help some of the neighbours de-stress over situations that have been going on here, but that's another story. Thankfully I'm de-stressed, chilled and ready to share Patrick Valenza's Abandoned Oracle with you all. As usual, Patrick sends little extras, and here we have a card from one of his decks, the Egg. We have one of the plain cards, which I like. There's no numbers, just symbols. And then one of the sample cards from one of his Marseille decks. Okay, so let's get on with the Abandoned Oracle. Now, I recall plans being put in place to have the Abandoned Oracle deck sort of completed. And what I like about this, Patrick's art is very different, but his cards give off a particular vibe, and the same can be said for the Abandoned Oracle as can be said for Mildred Payne's Secret Pocket Oracle or his Deviant Moon decks. Now, there are plenty in TarotTube there who will recall when I first started out in TarotTube that I'd had my Deviant Moon sitting on my desk and then on my tarot shelf for months. There was something about that deck and I just could not gel. However, I decided I wasn't going to give up on this deck, and I didn't, and I'm glad I didn't. I had the big book, Patrick Valenza's big book, but I don't know, I just wasn't vibing with the deck, so I decided to go ahead and get myself the Mildred Payne Secret Pocket Oracle. Whatever it is about that Oracle deck, it just lit up the Deviant Moon like a Belisha beacon, and suddenly it's become one of my go-to decks, and I get such honest, direct and no holds barred reading from it. So I decided to venture down the Oracle route with the Abandoned Oracle, having read about it in the past. It states on the box, dragged straight out of the rubble, incomplete and nearly forgotten for years, Patrick Valenza's Abandoned Oracle is finished at last. 52 horrifying cards. Warning, not for the weak at heart. So again, it's part of the sort of asylum series that he's got going on, Fenwood Asylum. And here we go. That's one of the cards here. So you've got here the card that comes, it's his normal cardstock, lovely. I do like the cardstock that he uses. Now you can download the Demented PDF deck guide at deviantmoon.com, Abandoned HTM. I actually happened to have found that, to come across that before seeing that, and I have it here to help us look at these cards and see what we think. I like this title card, and it states on the back of it, let me just hold this so you can see it. The Abandoned Oracle began as a small collection of inked nightmares pulled from the pages of Patrick Valenza's dream diaries. Unfortunately, the deck was abandoned in 2015 in favour of more urgent projects and buried in a mountain of sketchbooks. However, not wanting to let viable ideas go to waste, several of the forgotten images were later dusted off and reimagined into the upcoming Deviant Moon Oracle. Regardless of the neglect, this gruesome deck never stopped screaming to be born. So here it is, pulled from the rubble and alive at last. Enjoy at your own risk. Very, very eerie. So we'll start, the cards are all numbered 1 right through to 52, and I have my Palo Santo wood here that I'm going to use in a minute to cleanse my deck. We just don't know who was handling the decks in the creation of them. And the first card is the Infant. Now straight away, before looking at any PDF, we have this, what appears to be an abandoned child in the spotlight. So is it lost or is it found? Is it abandoned or is it just hanging around waiting? Let's have a look at what the PDF says. The infant, a helpless infant, waits for its mother under the glow of a random light post. Unfortunately, it seems that no one is coming to take it home. So the upright meaning, abandonment, neglect, a lost possession, awaiting rediscovery, focusing energy on a budding problem, exposing something potentially dangerous before it grows out of control. A problem that has an elusive solution, something lost that will be hard to find. It'll be found, but it'll be hard to find. So we're starting off the eerie levels right at level 50. Then we have the feral child. Now, again, before we look at the PDF, let's look at that. Study that. What would you get from this card? Looking at it, what's eating you up inside? Are you biting off more than you can chew? What has driven you to this? Now look at the foot. The foot looks like a hand. See that? The toes look like a hand on this foot here, in comparison to the other foot. So what has you? Are you hungering for something? Is there something that you want to do or try and you haven't done it and you're eager to try something? Let's see what wildness this card is talking about. The feral child. So here we go. An uncivilized child makes his home in the wild, feeding on himself when no other sustenance is available. Upright meaning, an untamed or uncouth person, someone willing to conform to the norm, someone unwilling to conform to the norms of society, a loner, living life your own way, self-reliance. So self-reliance, you can see that there definitely. Upside down or reversed, we have succumbing to cultural or social pressures and docility. So that's being forced to go with the norm and not your own way. But sometimes an untamed or uncouth person, maybe that's when we need to say, uh-oh, we wish it had been handed out upside down. Reversed. The next card is Hush, and this is one that has this is one that grabbed me actually when I was first looking at the images that were going to be, in this abandoned oracle. I really despise clowns. To me, clowns are the epitome of hiding behind a mask and sadness and putting on a front to help others. And this, albeit he might not be a clown, reminds me of a clown. What have you done? What secret is there that you don't want anybody else to talk about? What behaviours have you sort of displayed that has brought a tear to your own eye? Have you disarmed somebody from harming you anymore? Stopped them in their tracks? Taken what can harm you or has hurt you away from them? And you're saying no more? Or are you the one that's doing the harming? Are you self-sabotaging? Now that's my take on it. Let's see what the PDF says. A young lad holds a bloody knife to his temple. Now, personally, I would not say he was holding it to his temple. It looks more to me like he's holding it for protection. Okay? So I've seen that differently. If he was holding it to his temple, I'd have it here. So, a young lad holds a bloody knife to his temple. Despite the gaping wound inflicted to his head by assailants unknown, the boy urges the viewer to keep this tragic situation to themselves. Dark secrets, the upright meaning, dark secrets, unspoken mental trauma, hidden abuse, concealing the truth, protecting the guilty from exposure. Just what we were saying earlier on. Reversed meaning. Revealing suppressed secrets to the outside world. Sharing grim thoughts or feelings. A time for mental healing. Taking time out to look after you. Which you can see. But you know, it's great that we have this PDF to guide our thoughts and tell us what's going on, but it's also lovely to be able to look at the cards, step into them and get what you get from them, what's here saying to you. Remember, these are pictures created by a very, very talented man. Those are his take on his pictures, what they mean to him. When you buy that deck, it becomes yours. So yes, you can use the PDF as a guide, but also remember, you have intuition. You have an eye that might see things that none of us have seen, or you know, we haven't sort of, oh right, yeah, that could work, that could mean that. So I'm going to move a little quicker now and just show you the different cards. So now we have the Asylum. Okay, just try to get it so you can see it nicely there. The Grandmother. Well, Mother of God, you wouldn't need to be celebrating Halloween if you had that living in your home, would you? The Hand. Oh, ink. You could get a lot from this, not just due to the fact that there's an inked person there, but what is inked on this person? We've got many eyes, we've got the famous sort of skull with wings there. There's so much you can get from that. The Urn. What has come to an end? What's closed in the urn? Is it old feelings, old thoughts, old plans that didn't come to fruition, so you're boxing them off, putting them away for safekeeping? Who knows, that urn might be opened one day again, and whatever you've put in there resurrected, a little bit like the abandoned Oracle deck. Let's just skip to the urn and have a look and see what it says. The curtains open, revealing a golden urn positioned nobly on the mantle. Inside lies the powdered remains of someone once loved by all. Upright meaning, mortality, realising that nothing lasts forever. A time of mourning, paying respect. Reversed, disrespect, wasting one's precious days and ignoring the inevitable. Okay, yeah. I can see a lot of that. Ignoring the inevitable and wasting one's precious days. If it was reversed, that wouldn't have sprung to my mind quickly. Then we have the Beggar, the Cat, the Twins. Eerie, hey? Whoa. We have rain, but look at the rain. This reminds me a little bit of the fears of Ronald Weasley in Harry Potter. He despised spiders, and that's how they rained down upon them in the film. Infection. Now, that's a strange one. Now, without looking at the PDF, what would you get from that? Personally, self-care seems to have gone out the window. What is this person's infection? They're obese, so does that mean that the infection is self-neglect, overindulging? Because we know that self-neglect and overindulging can lead to sort of an early demise in, you know, serious situations. Then we've got the pustules that all have skeleton heads on them. Now, those skeleton heads, are they stating that if you don't get your act together, if you don't sort yourself out, that that infection is going to be, you know, the end of you, that you're going to be one of those corpses, one of those skeletons in the pustules? that you need to maybe clean up your act, that you need to, if you have medical issues, get them dealt with, because if you don't, it could lead to something more serious. Upside down, that you are dealing with things. Things will be cured in time as long as you maintain a healthy lifestyle. I don't know. Shall we have a look? What number is that? 13. Infection. A portly man exhibits the outbreak of an unknown ailment. What started small has quickly become a colony of skeletal boils that have rampantly spread across his face and body. If no cure is found, the poor man will soon succumb to his strange disorder. Upright meaning, sickness or disease. Something may get worse if left unchecked. Invasion, the spreading of foul thoughts or ideas. Reversed meaning, possible cure, curbing the spread of a growing infection. Yeah, okay, not too bad. We have dismemberment. What's causing you to feel broken up, and what is creating you harm and pain, where you just feel dismembered all over the place? And now later on we have another card that would sit nicely by that. The crematorium. Now we had the urn, now we have the crematorium, getting rid of evidence. So the crematorium, we know, is where we take those that have passed and they're cremated. And from the crematorium you go into the urn. So if there's a body in the urn, if there's ashes in the urn, oh, big fly, ugh, go away. What's happening in the crematorium? What's being burnt? Is it actually a body that's being burnt, or are you burning secrets? Are you hoping that something once burnt is gone forever, that you don't have to revisit it? That you're taking something and you are getting rid of it out of your life once and for all? Is it the end of a project, a lifestyle, something that you were hoping to do initially but it turned out not to be what you wanted? Whether it be a relationship, whether it be a career, whether it be a hobby, anything. Possibly resurrecting that we thought was ended. Resurrecting that friendship that we thought that was gone. Resurrecting anything that we thought we had put to bed and rid from our lives, making a comeback. Let's see. Let's have a look. The roaring fires of the crematorium burn hot through the night, ready to incinerate the next batch of corpses. Clouds of black ash billow out of the smokestacks, spreading tiny particles of death across the land. Upright meaning, disposal, elimination, an irreversible process, an accelerated conversion, destroying evidence. Oh my gosh, we're bang on with that one. Reversed meaning, preservation, a warning not to act in haste, may indicate the need to hold on to something a bit longer. Okay, then we have the specimen. This is another one that got my attention. The eye. The all-seeing eye that is seeing what you do, how you react, how you treat people, is seeing your light and your dark. It knows what's hidden. Oh. The madwoman. We've met the madwoman before, I'm sure. Playthings. Oof. Look at the crab in the baby's eye. Mother of God. Now that is gruesome. Definitely not for the weak-hearted. Reminds me of the saying when you were children, don't swing that around, you'll have somebody's eye out. The curse. Refusal. Tears. Tears. What's drawing you to tears? I was very distraught. That's really ugly crying, isn't it? You know, we say that one cries ugly. I have an ugly cry, I have to admit. But my God, that's somebody broken-hearted. The plant, I've come across this one before too. Beautiful picture. I just love them. So it's beautiful, different, very different. It has its own weird beauty. Backstabber. My gosh, I think in our lives at the age I am now, We've all come across a backstabber at some point in our time. Clock. Time waits for no man. Blessings. Do you know, I could probably be completely wrong on this one. But what do I get from this? We've got somebody who looks like a bishop. A little bit like the Hierophant, really. However, quite different from the Hierophant in the fact that we've got two faces. One that he shows the world and his inner voice, and the two devils that whisper into his ears. Now the fact that it's a religious or looks as though it's coming from the religious, as we are aware in society today that there has been so much corruption within religious orders and so much disappointment and revelation, that this one is telling me, this is saying, you know, these are the words I'm saying, but it's not necessarily what I'm feeling or what I'm going to do. It's more or less do as I say and not as I do, because this person's listening to the devil that sits on his shoulder, and the gut feeling is, well, am I actually expressing my gut feeling? Because that person, that the face then, I'm pulling tongues, if say, ha ha, I'm saying one thing, but I'm going to do something completely different. Let's have a look at what that one is. What do you say it was called? Here we go. A pious cleric bestows divine blessings on his grateful congregation. Those that receive such benedictions are now well prepared to march out and repel all evils. Upright meaning, heavenly gifts, wishes the best for someone, forgiveness, receiving or giving a pardon, protection, approval, good luck. Okay, that's what that card means, and fair enough. I think it's just my deep-seated disappointment in organised religions that have me look at things like this very differently. Reversed meanings, condemnation, disapproval, wishing ill will on another, falling out of favour. And you know, if you wish ill will on another, no matter how much you might not like a person, be careful what you wish for, because sometimes that wish will come true. And that's when Lady Karma can come along and gives a swift kick up the posterior. You know? So always be careful what you wish for. Revenge. Ooh. The bird. Very, very sad bird. The kiss. And you know, it's like she's being kissed by a corpse, and look at the sort of green sort of saliva that's been left on her hand. The shadow. I love that card. I love that card. I could sit here and talk about that card all day. What's hidden in the shadows? What are we hiding? What front are we putting on when our shadow side looks completely different? What do we hope remains in the shadows? Or are those shadows going to come out and scare the living daylights out of you? The feeding. The cyclist. Hope to God that's not how I look on my bicycle. The thief. The Swami. Another card I like. The mutant. Envy. Green with envy. The beast. This next card I find quite sad. It's the mermaid. But look at the state of the mermaid. She's all bloodied, and she's sort of changing from human to mermaid, or mermaid to human. Whatever it is causing her pain. And as such, she's sort of falling into the depths of the ocean. Is she going to survive? Or is this change just too much? Is it causing her pain, heartbreak, and even her demise? Let's have a look and see what this one says. Fatally wounded by hunters, a young mermaid slowly sinks to the bottom of the sea, her beautiful existence snuffed out before she had the chance to develop her gifts and share them with the world. Upright meaning, wasted potential, killing or giving up on an idea before it's time to mature, carelessly destroying something rare and beautiful, environmental destruction, impotence, submitting to more powerful force. Reversed, deciding to fight through weakness, slowly rising and gaining momentum after loss, relying on innate talents to keep you afloat during hard times. The sculpture. The disguise. We could have all done with masks like that during this last couple of years, couldn't we? Spider. Coming to my parlour, said the spider to the fly. Surprise! I'm not a lover of jack-in-the-boxes, but I was talking to my friend. I have a very warped sense of humour. Sometimes I wonder where the heck I got it from. But I always said that hopefully it'll be a long time before it happens, but when my day comes to leave this mortal coil, and when my coffin is standing there, and there may be a few people around it, that they're to play Pop Goes the Weasel, and just watch everybody holding their breath thinking, what the hell's going to happen now? Is she going to jump out of that box or not? The Phantom. Pop goes the weasel. Poison. Voices. And I'm sure we've all had occasions where we've heard voices telling us what to do, what not to do. Thoughts in our heads agreeing or disagreeing with actions we may or may not be doing. Blasé. Very, very blasé. Distortion. Twisted. Combustion. Now remember dismemberment, reattachment, picking yourself up, dusting yourself down and getting back up on your feet. The elixir, or the elixir. And finally, the viewing. The viewing. So, as you can see, it's definitely an oracle deck that's not for the faint-hearted. And you know, yes, we have a PDF, and PDFs are great. I love them. It does give you a sort of, when you're looking at pictures, you think, you know, how could the likes of mutant, how could that be read as a card? Well, mutant, what is different about you? What's your, what ideas are different that you have that others don't have, that might not be seen as a sort of run-of-the-mill ideas by other people, but it might make a lot of sense. And it's seeing that, you know, being different. And yet, what would mutant be here? That mutant card. It's one of the last ones we looked at. So here we go. A grotesque creature roams the fields, the likes of which has never been seen before, made of multiple body parts in a haphazard arrangement. Such a freak will undoubtedly have difficulty finding acceptance in the world. Something strange and unusual, an alteration, a new creation made by combining ordinary things in a unique configuration, deformity, imperfection, malformation, which, like I say, you might have ideas that might seem completely at odds with everybody else, that were your ideas a being, it would look like a mutant, because it's our idea. My idea could be a mutant to your idea, because where the hell did Elaine come up with that, you know? And yet it could be an idea that could work to solve a problem. It could be a solution to something. Reversed, something bored and predictable remaining unchanged. Well, not much to say about that, but you can see where it's going. So, Having the PDF is handy, but you know, they're cards that you can actually jump into. You can sit and mull over them. Just 1 or 2 a day. Have a look. What are you seeing? What is it saying to you? The viewing. You know, the viewing is that things might come to an end, and it might be upsetting for some people. This is not necessarily, very much like our death card, this is not necessarily the passing of somebody, but is signifying the ending of an issue, a lifestyle, and some will mourn about it, but then others will greet the new, you know, quite openly. Look at that. Excuse me, I'm just going to sneeze. Let's get to cleaning this deck, to cleansing it, putting my own mark on it. But like I was saying, you know, decks like this, obscure, adventurous, interesting, thought-provoking, and downright different, get me thinking. They get me delving deep into their heart. And do you know, I enjoy that. I have my little notebook and I'll take notes on 1 or 2 things, or I might even print off that PDF and write in it, because then you've got both Patrick's transcript and your own sitting together. Sometimes it's great to do it on a separate page and then compare how you found that to how the creator has, what meaning the creator has given to it. And I love doing comparison works like that, because it's quite amazing how often you can be pretty close. And there's a couple there we were looking at that we were fairly close on. So folks, that is The Abandoned Oracle by Patrick Valenza in his absolutely strange, weird, but wonderful style. And I think this is going to be another love of mine. And I'm going to have to ask my sister to make me a little crochet pouch for it, because I've a couple of hers in a crochet pouch. Oh, actually, I have a pouch there that Anne made me that it will fit into along with its sister. So, take care everyone. I hope you enjoyed this little foray into the weird world of the Abandoned Oracle. I know I have. Take care, enjoy what you're doing today, this evening, this afternoon. Me, I'm going to chill out on my Reiki bed for a few minutes. Bye now.